All right, what's going on? So right now, everyone's kind of falling in. They all just got notified that I am live. So now they got to open their phone and turn their computer on. So we'll give people a second as I see them start to join here on my phone and stuff. And the funny thing about going live too, Rob, is so they are seeing us about 20 seconds after we speak.
Okay.
And so the comments and stuff will come in at a little bit of a delay. Like, because I'm watching myself on my phone right now, and I can see myself after I'm talking.
Right.
So yeah, as we're kind of letting people come in, you've never been live before. Have you done live stuff before?
Well, I live in real life. I don't know if that counts these days, but I think I've been going live for 30 plus years. Probably pretty soon hitting 40. But on a podcast, actually, yeah, I think I've done maybe a couple Mad Scientists. That was really cool.
Okay.
So once or twice, but never with the Mohawk. So this is definitely a first for me.
Yeah, well, and that's what I love about what I get to do every day is we've talked all the time behind the scenes, but this is actually the first time we're actually meeting.
Yeah. Luckily I know what you look like, so I wasn't too surprised. But this is the first time face-to-face live for sure.
For sure. So we've got about 15 people on so far, so we'll get started. Everyone, thanks for joining. I'm super pumped to have good friend Rob Slaughter here. And Rob is the director over at DoD Platform One. I'm going to let him explain more what that is because I will terribly slaughter it.
Yeah. Yeah. So Platform One really formed out of organic team that really wanted to develop software the right way. And we sort of branded as Platform One to sort of go in line with when the Air Force, or actually the DoD, released the DevSecOps reference design. And as I'm sure everybody knows, the DoD is not very good at software. And so with the release of the DevSecOps reference design, what will become immediately apparent to everybody is that we're not well equipped to actually respond to it and actually make our weapon systems look like that. And so Platform One formed as sort of a response to that, to try to be the easy button for those programs that want to get in line with the DevSecOps reference design, but also acknowledge that, hey, maybe I don't have the world's best software team here on staff with me. Is there somebody else out there that can sort of help me through this journey?
Okay. Fantastic. And if you don't know, they're all about Baby Yoda.
Yep. Yeah, funny story on that. So prior to being the director of Platform One, I was the chief of waffles, mainly because everybody just knew me as the person that went into Catalyst campus and just made waffles for everybody all the time. And so I was the chief of waffles, and then when Nick started calling us Platform One, he told us we had to be more serious. And so we released this super serious, disgusting, basically blue GameCube knockoff logo. And him and Lauren Nossenberger pretty much yelled at us and screamed and said that it wasn't funny enough. And so we responded with a Baby Yoda and a Yogi the Bear, or not Yogi the Bear, but a Smokey the Bear cat, and everybody pretty much died laughing. So,
well, it makes it great for your guys' meme. Your meme game for Platform is insane.
Yeah.
Definitely. So, hey, if you guys are there, thanks for joining. Rob and I are here. We're going to have some fun conversations, maybe a little chaotic. Let us know you're there. Tell us where you're watching from. I see Grace. What's going on, Grace? I was watching this from San Diego. So, what's up? If you're there, let us know you're out there. Rob and I can't know if you're there unless you throw us a comment. So, throw us a comment, especially if you know Rob. A lot of you, this is my account, so a lot of you know me. But if you're a Rob fan out there, let's get Rob some love from some of his fans. So yeah, let's talk about chaos.
Yeah.
What?
It's a good topic.
It is. I made a post probably during my 100 Days of Awesome, probably 60 days ago or so, and it was about chaos. And that's where I first found out you were like, oh, I like chaos too. and and so what draw or let's talk about how is chaos in your life?
Well, I think obviously chaos is everywhere. It's really sort of interesting to me because a lot of the military active duty folks live and thrive off of chaos because that's really what our training programs sort of like equip us for. You know, it's our like reaction courses, and they just basically just throw you out into various locations and just throw stuff at you, sometimes literally, and just see you know, sort of how you respond to it. Meanwhile, you know, later on in your career, you find yourself in program offices, and they view and look at chaos as if it's this negative thing, this thing that, you know, you don't want chaos, you don't want risk. When in fact, you know, we are the Department of Defense, we're a Department of, you know, war and peace, and with that comes a ton of chaos. And if you look at some of the most successful programs, some of the most successful organizations, you'll find out that chaos rules the day. And so if you don't have a good handle on chaos, if you can't learn to use it to your advantage, then you're actually going to be at quite the disadvantage as you're trying to execute.
Yeah, that's a fantastic, very calm explanation of chaos.
Okay, now what's the chaotic version?
Well, the chaotic version for me is like I see, and maybe it's the Marine in me, is like I am drawn to the crazy. Like I am just drawn to like there's something going on. I'm like, oh, what are they doing? Oh, let me get in. Let me get in on some of that. And an example that happened a few months ago was we were doing this event for the Navy Awards program, and it just went. Everything was great up until 30 minutes before. Everything went bad. Everything that could go wrong went wrong, and in that sense, pretty much everything electronic. They were doing all this live stuff, and it was all electronic failures. And so, like, while I'm trying to solve one problem, my teammate comes up to me and he's like, "All right, Matt, this, and this just failed. We don't know what to do. We go live in 10 minutes." And we had about 400 to 500 people waiting to watch this award ceremony. And so I'm like, okay, I can see everybody running around. And I'm like, and that for me, that's when it clears. Like chaos to me is like, I can like see everything. If it's a little too calm, I'm like, oh, I need to stir some crazy up. It's a little too calm for me. For some reason, when things are just going crazy, like for me, my mind gets clear. Like I can see things, I can do things, and I may be moving fast, but it just makes sense. So in this example, I was like, okay, what are our options? Boom, okay, we'll do this, this, this. We did it. We were 3 minutes out from going up, and all those things failed. And we could not push live or out to the people that were watching it on Zoom Gov. And so we're like, I have Assistant Secretary Gertz sitting right there, a bunch of high ups like just watching me sweat. And I definitely probably lost 10 pounds that day running up and down the stairs of NavalX. And everyone froze. They're like, we can't do it. We have to cancel this. And I look around and I'm like, wait a minute. I got Zoom on my phone. I take my phone out, put it on a tripod, and we did the whole thing with the phone, and no one knew.
I'll be honest. As a Marine, when you say chaos and you start giving me a war story, I was expecting like bombs to go off, people to get shot out, and then you give us a Zoom story. You got to have something chaotic, that's pure, that brings out the true Marine here.
It's a family show. I mean, I don't know who's watching.
Well,
it's COVID, man. People, their kids could be watching next to them on the couch. I don't know.
Yeah. So I see Cody Paul here is on the call. I definitely want to give a shout out to him.
Yeah.
He's our lead program manager for our Platform One stuff. Huge shout out to Cody. I bring him up because he manages the chaos. Okay, he is the person that has to take mine and Nicholas Shalon's vision vomit and turn it into acquisition execution. And so, myself, Mohawk, I'm sure a lot of the people on this call have been in a lot of these chaotic situations before. I feel like they're very manageable once you get sort of used to them. I think the first thing anytime you're in a chaotic situation is to just sort of understand your true north. Yep. What is your mission? What is your end state? If you don't really know what that is, it's kind of uncertain as to like where you're going. And then the next thing is to make sure that you master the people, followed by the process and the culture. And so if you look at, whether it's your special forces units, whether it's your successful software organizations, whether it's Facebook or somebody else, it always starts with a small group of people. Mohawk, you were talking about how all NavalX is like, what, 10, 12 people? Pretty amazing what 10 or 12 people can do in terms of, the Department of Defense is massive, and you have 12 people and you're making this massive input. And then you have, your processes. And so, I think one of the biggest frustrating things within the department is, the acquisition system. What you're going to find within the acquisition system is that if you embrace chaos, you have to unembrace requirements. Mm-hmm. And the department is used to using requirements for their funding. And they're used to saying, like, literally, quote, where is the requirement? You can't do that. Where is the requirement? But if the requirements process takes years, you actually can't respond to reality. And the amazing thing that Cody has done for us is this concept of modular. That Cody's already saying here, not just me, the whole team. Yes, Cody. He just has different personas, but no, he's right. There's a very fantastic small team out there, out at San Antonio with the Platform One folks and HNC, and they're amazing. But really what they're doing is they're, along with other folks, pioneering what's known as modular contracting. And what modular contracting allows you to do is, rather than look at your weapon system as this massive thing that you're going to build this one overarching couple requirements and over the course of 20 years build this one system and God forbid anything changes, it allows you to basically write small contracts, small rewards, generate a little progress, and then see where you are, to then reevaluate, to then award more contracts, so on and so forth. It literally is pure chaos, as I'm sure he can, Cody can attest to. But with that, one of the most important things to remember is when you induce chaos into your acquisition team, you actually have to staff for it, which almost nobody remembers, because as you're doing modular contracting, it becomes harder, it becomes more work. It's the right decision, but you actually have to have the people to do it.
Yeah, no, and I think that's a fantastic explanation, and that's why I wanted to do this with you, because I can be like this, and then you just put everyone down and bring it together. We're gonna give a few shout outs. Ashley, you have a new fan. Ashley's one of the NavalX teammates, so she's gonna be a Rob fan now. So what's up, Ashley? We got Matt Zimmerman saying Rob Slaughter, the legend. Mark Phillips, hello from the team at Raft. Nice. Dan, what's going on from Puget Sound? Great to see y'all watching, Dan. And of course, this is my stalker, my wife. We're on the other side of the screen. She throws all kinds of good comments. And see, she's a Rob fan. She's like, she's over here.
That's why we're good together.
Exactly. Okay, from Cody. And Ashley was there that day that I explained. John Zimmerman, we need more cowbell. We do need more cowbell in our lives. You're right, John. And Amy says the call was. So thanks to everyone that's joining, that's there. We're going to keep talking about some things. If you have questions or comments you want to have us to chat about victory and chaos, or just things as we chat, please throw them in there. Ryan Connell really liked your point, turn vision vomit into acquisition decisions. I think that's a new quote for your waffle maker right there.
Yep. So I got a question for you. So you at NavalX have been connecting folks across all of the Navy. What are some of the interesting things that you see going on in the Navy right now?
I see a lot of people that really want to do better, but they are held back by the acquisition systems you recognize or that you commented about. There are a lot more people than I realized that that want some, and maybe not some of that chaos, but they want some of that change, and they want to do that. And there are some incredible people across all the services that I've been meeting this last year that are so passionate, and I knew it existed, but I'm just overwhelmed. Every single episode I record or person I meet, someone from a different angle brings this different level of passion that's overwhelming. And I think that's amazing to see across the DoD, because I think it speaks to, especially in certain job areas, they could be making double or triple what they are out in private sector. And so that passion, I love seeing. One really cool thing that has hit me is people want human. They want that human connection. And I think we've really learned that this last year. But some of the crazy things that everyone's seen me do over the last year, I don't do them because I'm crazy. I am crazy, but I don't do them for the video or for the attention. That's just how I act. But people are identifying with that. And I think that's amazing that, one, I am overwhelmed that I get to like be this crazy Mohawk and like not get fired. Like, the people that I get to learn from and be around every single day are like these brilliant people, two, triple, quadruple PhDs. And I'm like, Mohawk, what's up? I'm coming in, barreling through with my hawk, and like, but I've learned that there are so many great people out there doing great work. And this is a chance for me to give them the microphone. Just like I'm doing tonight with you, I have that power right now to share their story, to share their passion, to share their lessons for others to learn. Because that's one negative thing I have learned is, and I don't know negative, but we don't know each other exists. Like we need more from this Marine's opinion or this Mohawk's opinion. We need more collaboration. And I think we're starting to do it more across like the AFWorks, SoftWorks, DoD Platform One, Black Pearl, a lot of things that way. I think we just need more of it to not only save money and save time, but I think we could learn we learn from each other doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. I certainly obviously appreciate you inviting me and having me on your personal fan base live show. So certainly an honor, and it's pretty awesome. I'll be honest. Thanks to NavalX and Black Pearl and Project Blue and other really cool stuff going on in the Navy. I think I've met more Navy people in the last 6 months than I have in the first 12 years in the military. And so it's been really awesome. The services are all unique in their own ways, and yet they're all very similar. And so it's been very refreshing. I also definitely like the collaborative nature of most things. It definitely, at the same time, though, is one of those things that I think can still get way better. The number of times that we work with programs that don't want to do something because it's this service versus that service is astronomical. It's remarkable to me because most of the people doing the work aren't the ones who care. It tends to be the other folks that seem to where that stuff matters. Which is honestly, like, in many ways, sort of the enemy to progress. And so it's been very, very fantastic, just to be honest. Seeing NavalX, seeing AFWorks, seeing DIU, seeing some of these organizations sort of encourage people to become a little bit more joint. I think it's getting better, but at the same time, I think there's a lot further we can go.
Yeah, no, I agree completely. I think, and that's what I love seeing is I do think there needs to be more, but there's also, and I'll contradict myself, there's more than I even knew there was. Like coming from where I was at my warfare center and lab in China Lake, California, like I knew this much, and then I would see out this much to go in like a little bit one echelon higher. And then come to NavalX, I'm like, look at all these pretty things. And a lot of them are working together. A lot of the time people just don't know about it. And they don't know that you can. Like for you guys at Platform One, you don't turn anyone away. Like DoD, it's not like we only do Air Force stuff. I know for a fact that you don't.
Yep. And we got a question coming in from Bill. So
your first time on, and you're already watching the questions. Look at that.
I have to. Bill Baker's my hero. So when he pops in a question, I gotta answer it. So which is a bigger obstacle to overcome? People/leadership who don't understand the change needed, or those who are thriving/complacent with the status quo?
Since Bill's your man, you start with this.
Yeah. So I'll actually back up and just talk about like all the things that need to be overcome to reach end state, which is delivery. Everything always starts with people. Huge advocate, self-organized teams. That's why chaos is so important. Chaos encourages self-forming teams. So if you have no chaos, then self-forming teams just naturally won't arise. Every successful organization on the planet, other than maybe the government, well, actually, even the government is a self-forming team. If you think of the United States, we were a small self-forming team. So our origin is off of chaos and really people. But the second you have that catalyst, the next thing you really need is that product market fit, or in the DoD, that product mission fit. And that is really just your key stakeholders, your product developers, working with your end customers. Both sides of this is where you start seeing some cultural challenges. On the people and catalyst side, the most successful strategy that I've seen employ is just isolating them. And I'm not saying that's right or wrong. That's definitely more common. I'm going to take these 4 people in my unit who get it, whatever it is, and put them off to the side, and they're going to do something cool. Leadership tends to understand that and acknowledge that. The naysayers look at it as some random project. Oh, that's this random thing that's never going to disrupt anything. But that's exactly what Blockbuster thought of Netflix too. That's just this mail order thing. Like, what do I have to care about that? I got 2,000 stores around the country, and our ROI is doing great. I don't have to worry about these low margin like mail-in orders things. That's just a side project. Those side projects grow once they have that product market fit. Like, really, the next thing they need to do is get on contract. Sometimes you have to do that before you get product market fit, depending. That is a massive challenge. Within the ecosystem, we have plenty of catalysts. We have plenty of awesome people who want to start stuff. I think we're doing really, really well there. I think people are starting to understand and value user-centered design. I think they're starting to understand, hey, I need to get my people who make things by my people who use things together, so that way they understand each other. I think the ecosystem gets that. We still struggle a ton on contracting. And I would say, Bill, to your question, this is where you see the biggest, oh my gosh, this is the status quo. This is how we've always done it. We've done these big R requirements. Where's your requirement? Oh, you're not going to have a requirement like all the time. You're definitely not going to predict the future enough to know that your 20, 30, 50, 100-year-old weapon system, that you're going to be able to predict the way of the world. So you're never going to have that requirement. So when you start talking about contracting, this is really where the status quo begins to make it very, very difficult, just because they don't understand it. And to me, the breakthrough is just to understand, recognize, and acknowledge that as the government, no one is more responsible for that weapon system than you. Everybody wants to write it off to some prime. Hey, a big R requirement, going to do a gazillion-dollar contract, and some prime's going to take it and give me my weapon system. The prime's going to make their money. And if they make a mistake, they're going to find a way for it to be our fault, because I'm sure it does. But the reality is like, it's not the prime's problem if the weapon system doesn't work. It's the nation's problem. That is the cultural thing to fix. It is not the contractor's responsibility to deliver, it is the government's responsibility to deliver. And because of that, that's why modular contracting is important. Because sometimes you need small projects to get seed funding. Those projects then grow a little bit, you give them a little bit more funds, they get even more traction, and the next thing you know, you just disrupted your own weapon system with a capability you didn't have. And so I would say that to overcome it, you have to accept more responsibility, understand that the prime contractor is not responsible for the weapon system, you, the program office, is. And the second you can get people to understand that, then a lot of these status quo stuff just kind of goes away.
Well, so you actually kind of answered this next question in there. So, man, Rob, this is your first time, and you're like knocking them out of the park.
Okay, hey John, good. Thanks for the post. So, how do we get the primes to embrace chaos when their idea of chaos is jeans and a collared shirt once a month? So I would say that within the primes, I see innovation happening. And in the same way with the Air Force, there's a lot of people at these large companies who are just very frustrated because they have these ideas, they want to embrace it, and many times they have the same struggles that we have inside the government, which is the upper layer is definitely getting it, and the certain layers all between. You never want to say the quote frozen middle because it's insulting to those people who are middle tier managers who are rock stars that are just crushing it. And so I think the primes have the same issues that the overall department has. And I think within small sections, they are innovating. I really don't know from how do you get that to scale from the primes without getting people to just understand that, just take a lot of our weapon systems, the overall budget. If you were to take 10 or 15% of that and just throw it to the commercial world and not do contracts by paperwork writing off 1,000 pages, they would probably, for the same price we could do a study, actually build the weapon system itself. I've dealt with program offices that have done $300 million studies. That is ridiculous. If at the end of $300 million you have a piece of paper, you've effectively wasted $300 million, because I'm sure that paper is going to become irrelevant pretty quickly. And so I don't know how to get the primes to respond better than just saying and acknowledging that the primes are really just a reflection upon the government's own behavior. And so if you want the primes to act differently, they're going to be very responsive to their customers, which is the government. And so if the government encouraged different behavior, incentivized different things, then they would act differently. Like, for example, like most contracts are pretty much just labor hours. So, hey, we're going to do an estimate of work and, these 100 FTEs over this period of time. And we just want to, we have these requirements, but then if they don't meet it, what happens? Well, then they get an extension, and then, or hey, I need a, FTE boost. I need a 20 more person. Well, their profit is normally a percentage off the total amount spent. And so we, the government, are creating contracts that are encouraging bloat. Stop encouraging bloat. Like, that's the problem. The problem isn't the primes. The problem is the government's asking them to optimize around bloat. Stop it. We have the power to stop it. It's just, not enough people are willing to take the risk.
Yeah, no, and I think that's fantastic answer, and shows to why you are the chief waffle maker and hairstylist, because my gut reaction to that question as a joke is, well, then have them wear shorts instead of jeans. Like, get a little bit more, get some short tops or something. No, I think that was a great answer. Thanks, Rob. And anyone out there, so on LinkedIn, looks like we got 27, 28 people watching. Probably one on YouTube, because I have a huge following of 2 people on YouTube, a few from Facebook. But if you guys are out there, let us know you're there. Give us a shout out. Talk about Rob's sweet waffle skills if you know firsthand. And couple shout outs, or a couple people commenting on what you were saying was needed change incentives to change culture. And what I love about these live conversations is people are actually. So this is, I know, is Caitlin Castile. For some reason, her name's not showing up. She's like throwing it right back at and Mr. there. So you got some great thoughts from Nicole. She agrees with you. Let's see. One of these, I think, raise the roof or high five from Edith. So you're rocking. Oh, my stalker. I think she's betraying me over here. She wants to know Rob's waffle recipe. What's your favorite? What's the best waffles?
Oh, I'm gonna have to say the Mickey Mouse waffles that you just get in the store that are frozen that you just go and just eat. My kids eat those like it's pretty much candy, which it basically is. So yeah, without a doubt.
That's fantastic. Lego my ego is what Rob's got to say. So another question here, and this is coming from Jay Coffee. This tool I use sometimes doesn't show the name, so I have my phone pulled up. So Jay asks, how do you ignite innovation with proven technologies and commercial viable solutions?
Yep. So to go back to like the stages of delivery, you have people, product market fit, then you have acquisition, and then you have accreditation. Just because something has a product market fit on the commercial side doesn't mean that you found that within the department. And so that tends to be the issue is like, product market fit, customer discovery, like the way AFWorks runs their SBIR program, that's really what phase one is. And so, do a proposal. The phase one open submission 21.1 is open now. If you just type in, AFWorks SBIR, then you can spend 3 months trying to find a stakeholder across the DoD. It's not just an Air Force thing. And then once you have product market fit, you're actually already on contract, which is why that makes it valuable. And then your last step is accreditation. And if you're a software system, that's where I'm going to, put in my plug for Platform One, which is just, if you have a good product, you're on contract, and you can get it accredited, that capability, that technology, that company is likely to scale.
Fantastic, thank you. A couple more shout outs. Edith is throwing you double fives, and she's loving what you're saying. We got this from Caitlin: Waffle Wednesday on any day but Wednesday.
Yep.
Apparently, Caitlin's the master of shade. Another one here. This is from Cameron Kurz. Thanks for the chat. What is the difference between Platform One and Black Pearl?
Great. Yeah, that's a great question. And so Black Pearl, self-organized team, which we love. They were born out of chaos. And so, Ken Cato, a PIF, ride scene. He came from, Air Force Kessel Run. He understands platforms, he understands commercial. And he proposed, really, his strategy for how to revolutionize, software development and platform teams within the Navy. And as he started talking to people and learning different groups, we came in contact with each other, and we started, talking. And I think it was one of those, definitely rare exceptions to where, people are open to working sort of, across the aisle, across services. Given DoD is, or Platform One is a DoD organization, but because, myself and Nick and a couple other folks are Air Force, we get labeled as Air Force. But we actually have just as many civilians on the Navy side as we do Air Force government folks. And so we're definitely a joint organization. And yeah, I totally agree. Ken Cato is a national treasure. So really the biggest difference between Platform One and Black Pearl is think of Platform One as this open source project. It is this project that commercial and DoD meaning Army and Navy and Air Force and Space Force are all contributing to this common baseline product that's just code. And so what Black Pearl is taking that common code into their own environment, taking them into Navy weapon systems, and really applying that code and making updates and changes to that code as the Navy sees it. And so very, very close relationships there. So think of Platform One as the maintainers of the open source project, and Black Pearl as your providers within the Navy.
Magnificent. So you got some other questions, but I'm going to pause for a sec because we haven't been chaotic enough. So I want to ask, so the world has been a monster of chaos this last year for a lot of people. How have you handled your chaos at work and the new chaos that maybe came at home with everything that's been going on?
Just drink. Just drink your way through it. So
About spit my water out.
well, I think for me personally, I've gotten to spend a lot of time with my kids, which is really important to me. And so I'd say as chaotic as a year as it was, how unfortunate it was from a world perspective, personally, there's been a lot of positive aspects of things. I moved, several times. I actually got stuck somewhere on spring break when COVID hit. But luckily, once again, I was with my kids, so it ended up working out okay. But yeah, how about you?
Well, if anyone doesn't know, and they probably do, because I'm not private about anything, for like everything that went crazy, one, for me, the way that I cope is my family, my wife, my dogs. At first, it was an adjustment. My wife was like, "Yeah, you're working from home," and I'm like, "Yay!" Well, because for me, working it was a different brain, and so I'd go to work and I'd shut that off when I came home, and so I wasn't used to bring. While I still did work at night sometimes, I wasn't bringing it home the same way I do now, where I'm literally in my house every day, all day, and so that was an adjustment. But also in June or May of last year, with everything going on, I broke my back.
Oh,
Chaos, talk about chaos. But for me, that was the best thing that could ever happen to me. The reason is because, yeah, I know.
sounds
It's well, and anyone that doesn't know the story of me breaking my back, I was there. There was three kids about to get eaten by a grizzly bear, and I fought the grizzly bear. There was a coyote. I was there laying on a hammock, and the hammock broke, and my back broke. Wish it was something cool, but I got a lot when that story started going around the Pentagon of like how it actually happened. I got so many emails from all these senior SESers like, did you seriously just do it on a hammock? Like, come on. Razz left and right. I was like, target practice. And right, of course, right the day after I broke it and got back from the hospital, I do a lot of Ask Me Anythings with Secretary Gertz, or I have for the past year. The next day was one of our AMAs, and so I didn't sign on. And since I wasn't there to do the Q&A with him, he did not let up at all. He, he gave all kinds of lefts and rights about the back and the hammock and stuff. So, but for me, it was the best thing that could happen to me because everything going on with NavalX and my new stuff and some personal things that had started to kick off, it was that thing that focused me. Is that thing that I am now stuck in a bed for 4 weeks. Well, they told me 8 weeks. It only ended up being 4. And so I was like, okay, I watched Netflix for like the first 2 days. I was like, I'm gonna go crazy. I could not watch TV anymore. And I couldn't do my work. My team banned me from dialing into our work calls because I was like a drugged up dude just throwing shade in the comments. And so I didn't do that. And so I was like, what am I gonna do? And it gave me clarity to stop and focus. What do I want this new career path that I got thrown on to be? What do I want to do personally? And because of that event, I'm writing 3 books. I'm a host of 3 podcasts, 2 that are about to come out, different forums. I do these live, like it gave me time to actually pause, which I don't think we do enough. And a lot of people said, oh yeah, COVID was good for me because it let me like take a break from work. And I'm like, are you kidding me? My work like dialed up. Like I did not slow down at work for sure. But the back break paused me while it was chaotic and it could have been chaos for anyone else. For me, I see it as a blessing now because without that, I wouldn't have focused on some of these things I'm doing.
Well, that's quite the story. So how's your back now?
Fantastic. I'm freaking doing jumping jacks and Ready to go. No, it's good. I broke it in. The doc said I broke it in the best place possible, meaning I didn't affect the spine or anything else, and so it was healed like a rib, where it just had to heal, and like I can feel it if I walk a lot. I can just feel it getting sore, but I don't have pain from it anymore. I mean, I can't stop me. I'm ready to go. Broke my transverse process is what they said. But we got lots of comments flying over here. Preach, Bill Baker. You guys are going back and forth on saying who's the man more, you or him. A lot of people love more cowbell. Someone asked, is there the same process for the Navy SBIR? Yes, more cowbell. Yes, the Navy has an SBIR program led by Bob Smith, and you can do the same thing like AFWorks. Google it, Navy SBIR, and I think there's either an open one. We were piggybacking one of your guys's. I don't know if we still are. I don't know. We talk about collaboration. We piggyback SBIRs with AFWorks all the time.
Yep. Well, the AFWorks program will take a user need from the Navy, and they don't weigh the Air Force needs any more than the Navy ones. So you can literally just use the Air Force AFWorks one as a foot in the door. They actually think better of that. And so if to me, the Navy has a lot of really, really awesome SBR topics if you go look at it, but a lot of them are detailed around very specific areas. The Air Force has almost no topics other than that one massive open topic. And so, there's similarities, probably some differences, but if you're stuck and you want to use the AFWorks one, but with your Navy use case, no one's gonna knock you. They're actually potentially gonna be bonus points for the AFWorks team because Navy Air Force collaboration is always a good thing.
And if you end up working with DoD Platform 1, you might even get a Mickey Mouse waffle. I don't know. So anyone that's there, thanks for joining. We're still going. Throw a question, comment. I see a little battle of the comments going on right now about submarines in space and more cowbell, Space Force. So as Platform 1, I know you're DoD wide, and you're in Colorado. So do you tell your kids that you work for the Space Force?
Yeah, because I'm actually at Air Force Research Lab Space Vehicles. So it's very appropriate because my actual duty email actually says Space Force. So I do. We have people on our team that are going Space Force. Cody Paul, who we're going to be very sad when he leaves, is going there. Reason we're in Colorado Springs is because a lot of us came out of Space Camp, which Space Camp came as a software factory to support the National Space Defense Center, which is one of the Space Force's mission ops centers. We sad to see from a Colorado perspective that Space Force is going to Huntsville, Alabama. But I've been to Huntsville, awesome place. So I'm sure those people down there are pretty excited.
Fantastic. That's awesome. And one day you can tell your kids you're building software on the moon, I guess.
Yeah,
maybe that's one of your goals.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think every software geek on the planet, especially in space, wants to work for SpaceX at some point. So,
and for me, and probably every Marine out there, when Space Force was announced and came out, and I know Space Force is doing great things, no shade on Cody or anyone else there, but all I see is like Space Force, yeah. And then being the Marine I am, I'm like, all right, so some Marines up there sweeping the moon. We're so excited, and we got to do duty on the moon. It's the same thing.
Yeah,
so,
you
got Baby Yoda waffle. That's what you need.
Yeah. Somebody, give me something to make it. I guess a 3D printer or something.
Oh, I bet you can find a Baby Yoda waffle maker on Amazon. I almost guarantee it. So here's a question from Don Yang. Oh, no, wrong one. Where'd it go? Oh, there's so many questions. Oh, they deleted it. Anyway, we'll take this one. What is the process of getting an application on Platform 1?
Yep. So take your government sponsor and you actually take them to basically we have a service desk, and I don't have time to basically poke around and find it now, but maybe Cody or somebody else does. But basically, you get your government program office to literally just fill out a form on our service desk. It says a little bit about your program, and then that kicks it over to our customer success team, and then our customer success team walks you through. If you're a commercial company trying to get on and get accredited, you just type in Iron Bank Platform One into Google, and you should go find the website, and then you basically just start the process from there. Full transparency, you're not going to get very far without a government sponsor because we have a really, really high backlog. We've already worked through about 350 companies and products already. And we probably have another 350 on the other side. And so the way we prioritize is based on government sponsorship. And so if you're a commercial company, go get your government program office. If you're the government program office, then just fill out the service form.
There you go. And do you know the answer to this one?
I sure hope so. He threatens to quit every week, and so far it hasn't come true. So I sure hope he sticks around for another 2 years. I think he's quite the personality who has driven a massive amount of change in a very positive way across the entire department. And that type of person you don't want to lose. I'm sure Hondo and Roper you put in the same sentence, but obviously as at this immediate moment they're not there. But I really, really hope Nick sticks around because I think he's one of the best things to ever happen to the department.
Yeah, I think it's incredible what he's done. And to what you said, Dr. Roper and Secretary Gertz in their own rights, they're titans in the acquisition world. And so I know a lot of people are feel like their hearts got ripped out this week.
Yep.
As those two are transitioning.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, pretty sad. I hope they're both pretty young though, so I'd be shocked if they don't pop up somewhere else. And hopefully their careers keep going up.
Oh yeah. Well, we told Hondo the other day, we're like, hey, you're out of the Pentagon. We got a desk for you at NavalX. Come on down. We'll get you a keyboard, and we got a spot right underneath the stairs. Perfect spot for you. Smallest chair possible.
Did he take you up on it?
It's debate. He's talking to people.
Okay.
You got to get approved by his people. A guy like him, he's got people everywhere.
Yep.
So a lot of people have found your waffle maker.
Yeah, I see that. Thanks, Dan and John. I'm gonna go buy this. So I did have a question for you. Okay. So as the connector, okay. So myself and Black Pearl and Project Blue, we are trying to put software on a Navy boat. Okay. We can do it in 90 days. The reason I know we can is because the Platform One team took 90 days to put it on an F-16. I've seen an F-16. I've seen a boat. The F-16 looks harder. I'll be honest. Okay. So I'm gonna just hazard a guess here that if you can connect us to a Navy boat and give us access to the server and tell us who the AO is, phone number and email, that we can put software on that boat in 90 days. So my challenge to you, connector, is to help us find that boat.
I'm taking notes. Navy software boat. And as you bring that up, it's going right there. See, already I have and it's going in the chaos. Chaos. And that's, you asked me earlier about what I've gained from talking to all these different people. And what I've learned is the power of the network. Because right now, I'm already thinking about 7 people to point you to. And I guess 2 of those are the right people, but the other ones are going to know other people. Because I don't think people put enough, I don't know the right word. I'm not good with words like you is. But my wife's making fun of me, how I speaks. But it is, now ADD, man, I just lost what I was saying. Oh, the power of the network. Like, I don't think people put enough stake in how important networking and relationship building is. One of my favorite quotes from Hondo Gertz is build a relationship before you need it. Don't just wait to go. Like right now, if you were to call 10 people in the Navy on a ship, they're probably going to be like, who the heck is this guy? But to your point earlier, a lot of people know the Mohawk.
Yep.
I can reach out and be like, hey, let's get this done.
Yep. You bring us a boat anywhere, CONUS. We will put software on that boat with accreditation in 90 days. You go find us a boat.
Jay Coffey is saying the Fitzgerald.
Okay.
So he's saying the Fitzgerald. Jay, we need to talk.
Yep, we're gonna do it.
You need to talk to me. Just talk to them. At least see, I ain't got to do anything. I just show up. We got some game ons. So we're going to talk about the boat here for a second because you commented on this on your post of this event the other day. So NavalX, you've seen the NavalX videos and stuff. We have this huge boat, this huge water-shaped object that rides in water in our building, right?
Mm-hmm.
So who do they put in charge of getting this thing painted the Navy way? The Marine. Yeah, 7 sailors, officers, enlisted side on our team. And they say, Marine, you're in charge of this thing. So I get an artist, and it looks great now. But I got lit up when I started saying, hey, we need this for the boat, this for the boat, this for the boat. Even on live events I call it the boat. And they're like, it's not a boat, it's a ship. It's not a boat. It is thanks to Hondo Gertz, who officially has this power. It is actually officially the USS NavalX. He did a whole commissioning hominist. Obviously, it's not going anywhere. But if you're going to roll with the Navy, you got to know the difference between a boat and a ship. So you say, let's put it on a boat. Everyone that's listening is probably thinking a submarine because they call boats. And this is something I had to learn the hard way after getting yelled at a few times.
Well, you give me something that floats. I don't care what you call it. You just got to float.
There you go. Lot of great comments here. Thanks everyone. You're chatting with each other, helping each other out. So here's another man. Don Yang is giving you all kinds of questions, man. Maybe he's just setting it up. When do you see a time when a fully accredited DSO pipeline can be delivered to a prime? A lot of prime questions.
So I'll answer this 2 ways. One, if your prime is a software prime, then that already happens. And so this is part of why Platform One came up with our DevSecOps was so that way we could get a certain number of companies that could prime on software objectives. I would say that 50% of those companies can get you something in like a week, and 100% of those companies are going to get you something within a month or two. And so and some of those companies can get you something on day one. And so hopefully you'll choose the right ones and get something up and running in day 1 versus day 90. But I'm assuming you also mean the real primes, the massive juggernauts. We've seen a lot of positive progress in interest and working with some of the primes on our technical baseline. I think that the top engineers on those primes can deliver something like that today and now. I think the problem is that the whole ecosystem is just lacking a certain amount of software talent. The primes are the most obvious because they're the #1 hirers, employers of the total force in terms of our contractor base. And so I think in general, they're just going to be very representative of who we interact with. So I would say that we probably need, probably 2 more years, maybe 3, before I'll say that the average prime can, really just like hit the ground running. But like I said, with that said, I could introduce you to 20 companies, one of which, now that I'm staring at the screen, Revicom, for example, that's one of our companies that we work with, they're one of, 10 companies that can just, snap of a finger sort of provide you that type of capability on day one.
Awesome. So, no, that's great information. And submarine equals boat is one comment. And then, of course, like I said, Rob, you can't talk about this stuff in the Navy. Someone's going to speak up, like Mike Pine here, to make it more confusing. Navy ships also carry boats. So the Navy has more boats than just subs.
Okay. Well, like I said, you give us something that floats, not at sea, and we will go and install something in 90 days. And Mohawk is here to connect us to the right people and the right ship so we can deploy software.
And Mike Pine, do you know Mike?
Yeah, I definitely.
Yeah, so he's a great guy. He's just joined our team a week ago. Nice. So now he's on NavalX. So Mike, you're involved in this too. You're in. You're in this challenge. I got it recorded. You can't get out now. Apparently, we're going to get a NavalX yacht towed outside and park it outside the garden. Here's a good one. Do you know Robert Borka?
I do not, but this sounds pretty fascinating. This is pretty awesome.
He's the director of acquisition for the Navy. We built the new RDAS 3.0 and got a credit in 47 on the USMC BOSS. We are executing the agile approach with DevSecOps and the 5-year continuous ATO. It can be done. Yes, Robert.
Good job.
We're already working on videos. Let's make this into a video. I'll have Robert on here soon. Share that story. So, and Mike Pine's in. Perfect.
Cool.
And he's an active duty sailor, so he'll keep me in line with the boat ship nonsense. And apparently sailors are salty. So thanks, Edith. So, all right, Rob, so we got a couple minutes left. Is there anything else you want to talk about? Anyone have anything for us? We came here to talk about chaos. We've talked about a lot of things.
Yeah, I just say, chaos is a good thing. Uncertainty is a good thing. If you don't have a little bit of chaos, then you're probably working on something pretty boring. Encourage it, work outside your comfort zones, and, work with partners, especially across different joint lines. And, obviously want to say thanks for having me, and thanks for everyone who joined.
Yeah, for sure. And I want to add on to that is I think chaos can be valuable, finding the right people to wade through the chaos. Chaos cannot be done by everyone. And just like you have, I think it was Cody, yep. See one of your chaos managers. Like, I am great at solving in the chaos, but when I'm done, I can't tell you how I did it. Yeah, I'm like, put me in chaos, and I will get out and I will solve it, but I cannot build a process to do it again for someone else. Like, so you need the right people on board to kind of make that chaos management team. Otherwise, you could sink some people if they're not ready for it.
No pun intended there.
No pun intended at all. Before we go here, Robert, sounds good. And Ashley says salty like salt water. Throw in Dan McCath, best live show ever. Fantastic. Look at that, Rob. You got fans. And this is from Caitlin. Robert Borka, is it harder for Marines since you have to follow the Dawn rules, or do you get to go around that? So Caitlin, Robert, you know each other on LinkedIn, so you guys can work that out. I'm going to have Robert on future things. This has been an awesome show. Thanks for coming on, Rob, and sharing. I'm glad to have a friend in the chaos. Who was it that you tagged? You tagged somebody when we talked about chaos a few months ago.
Yeah, Molly Kane, who is one of those people who it advises me through the chaos. And she came onto the platform one at probably our most chaotic moment. And so we've had a lot of conversations just around sort of how do you harbor chaos for goodness.
Fantastic. Yeah, Molly's a rock star in her own right. Couple last things, insightful discussion. Glad to help you guys. Caitlin, Rob, you're connected. Boom. So Rob, stick around real quick. And everyone, have a fantastic evening. If there's more questions, comments, we'll hit them up in the comments. I don't know if Rob will. I'm on LinkedIn all day long, 24/7. So
thank you so much.
Rob, hang on real quick.